Here's Nana's roses looking particularly beautiful, just coming out of bloom, February 2010. Tree tomatoes going particularly well after having been frosted in 2009. They are producing some beautiful blooms, as you can see. The green grapes, having transplanted them last year, are looking wonderful, and thus far the birds haven't found them. Here's the crop of Pahutakawa trees. These came from Mount Maunganui 2 years ago. Looking good. These are the kowai trees that have been planted 3 years ago. The Kenesha plants, looking strong, self-seeded, perennials on the bank. Apple tree, the triple graft, looking a bit sad on one side, but some beautiful apples on the other side. Triple graft needed a... Here's the Chilean guava, looking really sharp, producing lots of good sized berries. Look at flowers on the yellow guava, just producing. In addition, we have fruit setting on the tree as well. This is February 2010. As you can see, nice looking fruit already set. Up the back, telegraph cucumbers, not a particularly successful patch. The ground was quite susceptible to slugs and didn't really produce that well. Scabiosa on the other hand is producing beautiful flowers in very harsh conditions. Every year the scarlet runner beans producing beautifully. We were thinking we should extend them all the way up to here next year. The broccoli patch with a few silver beets have been producing steadily all year. And 2 or 3 varieties of potato in here, all pretty well finished, having supplied our first crop in December. This year we planted quite a few hot chilies, and these are looking quite good. Mixed in with tomatoes. Some of the tomatoes are performing well, as you can see by these two. Other tomatoes are very poor, as you can see by the rest of the tomatoes. We think it's related to soil that's not very good. Blackberries, on the other hand, are producing some beautiful stuff up against the fence, and spying on some really nice ones. We've got some beautiful blackberries producing. My dahlias this year are looking very good, as always, nestled in amongst the yuccas. Some quite nice varieties. One of my favourite dahlias, dark red and spiky. Still visited by bees. Lucky enough to still have some. Some nice yellow Roma, or something tomatoes, but as you can see, the crops beside it are quite poor. Spinach patch, evergreen spinach, is looking really good. It's half taken out at this time of the year, and some new plants being planted in February 2010 for winter, bringing us a constant supply of spinach. As you can see, the resultant tomato patch, one of the poorest years we've had. Blueberries, on the other hand, have always been a successful crop, and with the covering of bird mesh we've been able to get a successful crop every year. The second crop of corn, this was planted only some weeks ago and it's doing really well in last year's patch. And alongside we built some raised gardens and put in beetroot, Egyptian Crosby I think, doing very well, with a great little patch of carrots up the back and a young fig tree for shade later on. Obviously the straw has worked really well this year. Our primary crop of corn is looking pretty sharp, and amongst the feijoas, palm trees and some beautiful sunflowers. A little towai tree and our fire site. We built the pergola this year, which was primarily to allow support for a Robinson grape. Got a nice red Robinson which has been transplanted from up top this year and it's producing this year some beautiful grapes. Just starting to come ripe, probably another couple of weeks away, February 2010. Shiny green beans, and we planted an additional grape on the far side amongst the sunflowers. Rewarding to see our black beans growing so well, almost 3 meters high, and a good supply of black beans for everybody. The lime tree, the orange tree, and a tomato patch. Additionally, for Christmas we got 2 ginger plants, 2 different varieties, growing quietly in the shade behind the dahlias underneath the magnolia tree. Some disease in the apple tree. The apple tree has some disease, but it is producing some pretty nice fruit. Really old apple trees, again some nice fruit, but without spraying they do tend to show signs of black spot and the like. The best success we had this year was with the peach tree. This produced some beautiful peaches and provided some fertiliser for the echinacea. My favourite pear tree, producing some beautiful product, although as you can see has some signs of borer. Nothing we can't fix. Another one of my favourite pear trees, producing some beautiful pears. Here's the path that Serrano built, November 2009. A boardwalk all the way along the back under the shade of all the citrus trees. A really good project, and only used 2,500 nails with an automatic nail gun. This is proof that compost provides the best form of food for this pumpkin, which is grown out of that compost bin and overtaking the whole area. We put in some blueberries in pots, not so successful, birds got them before we got them, but the zucchini patch, which is beside the pump house, is producing great zucchinis and has been for months, and the occasional good tomato as well. Basil, as we both love pesto, has a good position in the garden, wonderful containers of basil and varieties we've only just